All right, let those notifications go out. Yes, here we are. Here we are. Oh, yeah, like the good old days in the car office. That's right, like good old days. Um, well, because it's a little chilly outside. But no, and it's just that season, and the Lord said it's time. Like, get back in the car, be doing some videos in the car. And so we're going to talk about the healthier lifestyle, because some people are led to believe, well, many people are led to believe that it's more expensive to eat healthier. No, it's not. It's how you do it. It's strategy. Okay, it's all about strategy. And then, of course, how many mouths do you have to feed and things like that. Okay, we get that. But the choices that we make, right? This it kind of goes with this not kind of goes, but goes with our movement, combating radio frequencies for healthier living. Okay, but let those notifications go out, because a healthier lifestyle becomes a habit, and a good one. Okay, it's a good habit to develop a healthier lifestyle, and it doesn't have to break the bank. That's the point. A healthier lifestyle does not have to break the bank. No, it's just in your goals. What are your goals, right? So I'm gonna give y'all an example here in just a little bit, because it's very important to understand how simple it really is. You know, we live in a world that complicates things that aren't complicated, right? Exactly. And so I'm here to tell you that it's not complicated to do the things that we need to do for healthier living. So I see that some stuff going a little wonky today, but that's all good. That's all good. Things can go a little wonky from time to time. Yes. All right. So let's see. Because here we are. I need to pull this up anyway, because I need to see the chat. And it's showing me I'm just going to have to wait for it to load. There we go. All right. Sometimes y'all got to remember something about technology, too. Sometimes if you have too many apps going at the same time. Okay, Truth Seeker Podcast. A healthier lifestyle becomes a habit. That's right. And let me go ahead and do the... There we go. Sound check. All right. There you go. All right, y'all. Okay, so if y'all have any questions or further insight or whatever, don't hesitate. Okay, don't hesitate to reach out. And I'm going to do my best to keep up with the chat over here. But I wanted to get on here and talk about this, because so many people wanted to think that a healthier lifestyle had to be so complicated. No, it doesn't. And I'm giving, we combat radio frequency RF for healthier living, right? So I've got RF tips and hacks available on the website for y'all to download. It's really simple. Superfoods and things like that, and to make your own food as much as possible is really the way to go, because we learn about a lot of the stuff out here that you get. It is loaded with excess salt and who knows what else. So we're starting to pay closer attention to labels. If I can't pronounce the stuff, I put it back on the shelf, that kind of stuff. But for healthier living, how you going to get your vegetables, right? How you going to get your sweet potatoes? How you going to... We can only eat so much in one day. Our stomach, they say our stomach's only the size of our fist. So if you ball your fist up, you're like, wow, that's how big the stomach is. And you're like, okay. Of course, I know you see pictures and stuff out there, and they want you to think it's bigger than that. No, but it's a muscle. And so, yes, it can stretch. Okay? But you want to be mindful of that, because, listen, if you are on a weight loss journey, congratulations. If you're not, that's fine too. You can still live a healthier lifestyle, okay? And you don't have to be on the endurance training journey or anything like that, but simply walking every once in a while and making better choices. It's really simple. So, for example, fresh spinach, y'all. Listen, because we are in repentance, okay, chosen one, we are in repentance, and we're no longer trying to please the flesh. So there is a difference now. with healthier living and healthier eating, because we're not trying to, let's just please the taste bud. No, okay? No. Now for inner child healing, that's a different take, but it won't last forever. Like your inner child might crave something like the taste of a cheddar cheese cracker or something. Okay, but that's different. Once your inner child is fully healed, all that goes away. Because what happens is your body talks to you, okay? And if you pay attention. So the example I got a bag of fresh spinach, and I said, okay, I'm gonna eat some mackerel, okay, for some omega-3, and I cooked in the air fryer. I cooked my own French fries, okay, no added salt, no nothing, and so we had that with the mackerel, and I said, okay, well, I need my vegetables. I said, I want some spinach, but I'll make a spinach juice. See, I had that little mini blender. And so what I did is I put a handful of fresh spinach in the pot, with a little bit of water. I cooked it, get it nice and soft. And then the little bit of water that's in there, I put all of it in the little blender. Of course, I had to add some water to actually make the juice. And then I blend it until it's thoroughly, and you'd be surprised. Okay, it's real smooth, fresh spinach. Okay, even baby spinach. You know, I don't know what the difference is with the fresh spinach in the bag, baby spinach, regular spinach, either or. Okay, and you cook it down, and then you can and add water. I mean, if you want to add garlic powder, maybe a little dash of cayenne pepper or something like that, or maybe some basil, a fresh herb, you can do that too. But just straight up spinach juice, that's all I wanted. That becomes a habit now. So now I also have carrots that are already cooked. All I got to do is pull that out, put some of them carrots in there, add some water in that blender, and blend it until I got carrot juice. It's that simple, y'all. So this narcissistic matrix and all this stuff out here wants to keep people confused about a healthier lifestyle. Don't get all caught up in that, okay? And don't be afraid to try new things, okay? Like that. Don't be afraid to go, okay, you know what? I'm going to try and see if, for example, okay, the carrots, straight out of the bag, crunchy, not cooked yet. I wanted to see if I could just make a juice from that. No, you got to cook them. You got to cook them, okay? You got to cook them carrots so that they get soft. That's the point. You want your vegetables to be soft to make a juice with. And now, if you're going to do a smoothie, banana, if you're able to find bananas that are not genetically modified, but in place of that, there's a ton of other options. Your sweet potatoes are a great source of potassium as well. So cook up them sweet potatoes and make you a sweet potato juice. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You can add sweet potato juice. You can even, I mean, seriously, you can add a little bit of cinnamon in there. And if you want to put just a little bit of honey, I would recommend that rather than sugar. Remember, excess sugar and salt is what help form excess mucus in the body. And you don't want that. So, yes. Okay, we are discussing healthier. Okay, it's not a meal. Okay, Chris, it's not a meal we're discussing. I'm just giving y'all some simple pointers of healthier living and healthier eating, because it's not complicated. And so it was just fresh spinach cooked, and then the water that I cooked it into that little mini blender that we've got, and I added enough water to get me a good, well, I don't know, it's about this size, my glass, okay, it's about that size. And I put me some ice in there, and I poured that spinach juice right over the ice, and that's it. It's pure. It was. You want to blend it until it is thoroughly mixed. You don't want, unless you don't mind the chunks, but no, if you cook it, that's what I'm saying. Same thing, sweet potato. You know, you cook the sweet potato, and then add your a little bit of, you know, whatever water you cooked it in, put that in the blender as well, because the nutrients from the vegetable that you cooked in the water is in the water. Okay, it's there, so you want that too. And so, same thing, you can do broccoli. I mean, any vegetable you can do. Cook it, get it nice and soft, blend it, make you a juice. Now, the broccoli's a little bit trickier because it's going to have it will have the green, well, it won't be completely smooth all the way through unless you just cook and make broccoli juice from the stem. The broccoli stem is where a good majority of your nutrients are located. Okay, the root, the stem. Okay, so that's why I like to, if I know I'm going to make broccoli juice, I like to get broccoli, and I like to get broccoli that's got a long stem on it, because I said, I'm going to use that stem. I'm going to make a juice with that. And you can do that. Carrot, that's what I was talking about. But you want to cook them, and don't be afraid to try new things. Like I did. I wanted to see if I could do the carrot just straight up without cooking them. Well, you can, but then you're going to have chunks. It doesn't mix thoroughly, at least not with the mini blender. So I cook it first, get them nice and soft, and then put them in there, and I got carrot juice. So, okay, so you got beef stew and dumplings. See, that's what I'm saying. Yes, you can. Okay, now you might want to, try saving those stems and make yourself a broccoli juice with those stems. I'm going to tell you, that's where the majority of your nutrients are. Okay? Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, didn't know, now you do. Okay, but it's not complicated. Okay, a healthier lifestyle is not complicated. No, but, we live in a world where, and then that becomes a habit. So I was like, all right, so today we did spinach juice. And then I said, okay, I know I've got carrots in there. I've got this other half a sweet potato in there. We're going to have some sweet potato juice in a day or so. I'm just taking it one day at a time. And, it's real simple. And it doesn't take that long at all to do it. And that's the other thing, we live in a rush kind of world, right? The rush of the Matrix. They want you to think that you got to do everything like so fast. And there's a lot of things that don't take long at all to do anyway. It's just you can't be lazy. I can tell you that, okay? A healthier lifestyle does become a habit. It does, and a good habit, because you do things like that, you're giving your body the nutrients. Because here's my mindset. I was like, all right, I'm managing how much liquid I take in, because we want to get rid of water retention. So we don't want to keep, until we are done detoxing from the air pockets, if you will, until that's over with, okay? Because air pocket, the water, okay, so we're managing our liquid intake. And I said, so, all right, so I know I'm going to be wanting to take in another bottle of water. So I'm going to make spinach juice. And that's how we're going to get it. And we're going to make sure that we get some nutrients. You can do it with beets. You can make your own beet juice. And like I said, if you want to add spices or what have you, by all means, you can do what you want with it. But I like the spinach straight up by itself. I'm going to tell you. And what I was getting at earlier, when we're no longer trying to feed the flesh. Okay, yeah, we're no longer trying to feed the flesh. But our taste buds, when you get something all natural like that and just straight up nothing but pure nutrients, you'll know. I'm gonna tell you, because when the first sip of that spinach juice, and I felt it, I was like, ooh. I said, my body was like, give me some more of that. Yeah, my body's like, give me some more of that. Yeah. It's smooth. It was so smooth and soothing. That's the difference. It's so soothing. So when you know, if it's so soothing going down like that, it's good for you. Seriously. And so that's how we're doing it. The healthier lifestyle we want to take the best care of this temple for the Holy Spirit as we possibly can. Okay, so you don't buy bottled water anymore. Okay, and you're not really wasting money when you throw away the broccoli stem. I mean, that's all about how you think about it. But, yes, and portobello mushroom soup is nice with the cabbage or spinach, yes. And I know we've got the mushroom soup that we like to do, the superfood. And, I found dry Great Northern beans here where I'm at. For whatever reason, finding a bag of dry lima beans is, I don't know. I guess that's not a thing here, but you can find pinto beans all day long, sure. So get some of that. But Great Northern beans work really well too to go with the mushroom soup and some fresh basil. Yeah. And so we've got that. And don't forget, y'all, on the Patreon channel, okay, that Patreon membership channel link is listed in the description below. I have a high protein, low carb guide for you all. Yes, all you have to do when you go, as far as I know, okay, you go over to the Patreon channel, and there's a little tab that says shop. And when you click on that and you scroll through, you'll see the products that we have, digital product line that we have, okay, over there. We're moving some stuff to the website, though, too. But that high protein, low carb guide, make sure you put that on thumb drive, okay? I know it's $30, but let me tell you something. It's worth it. It's the value, because I've got a lot of stuff in there. My own recipes, and you can modify them. You don't have to make it, but it goes right along with healthier living for the getting that protein that your muscles need. You got to feed the muscles, and that's the mindset I have, is muscle food. So that's why I went for the spinach, and then I go for berries and eggs. I mean, it's just the way it is. Just muscle food. That's what I'm thinking. When I eat now, I'm like, I want muscle food. I need muscle food. And so when the body is craving something, though, like I bought another bag of regular russet potatoes, because I've been on this, I got the air fryer, and I've been making my own French fries. So I'm not going to be buying anybody else's French fries now. I make my own right there with that air fryer. And it doesn't take long, and they come out just fine. I don't add no salt. No. Nope. I have my no salt added ketchup, and I've also got mustard that I can dip them in. So, I mean, yeah, mustard, y'all. For those who don't know, mustard, okay, for minor, and I mean, I'm talking like just minor discomfort, okay, mustard can help with that. There's something about mustard that is, I don't know, it's anti-inflammatory or something. I don't know, but all I know is that it works. It works for me. So, mustard, but you can have honey mustard, you can do the spicy brown mustard and things like that. But yeah, for just your ordinary dull, discomforts, you know what I'm saying? Not anything severe, okay? But just for, yeah, like if you've got, like a minor ache in the elbow, and you get some mustard, watch. Yeah, and take care of that. And, so it's not complicated to eat healthier. It's about making the right choices, right? Okay. So that way, well, yeah, because I'm like, if I'm going to drink this liquid, I got to get this water in my body, but I want to put something with it. I want to put some potassium in there. I want some vitamin K, and that spinach and kale and all that's real good for vitamin K, because what is vitamin K for? Coagulation. Right, exactly. We want to make sure we're getting that. And you get it in your leafy greens. So, yeah, well, for the most part. But you don't want to forget about avocados. You don't want to forget about your fruit, too. You can make your own fruit juice as well. Yes, it's not complicated. You get you you want some strawberry juice? Okay, I'll tell you what. You want to put a banana with that? All right, let's do strawberry banana juice. Okay, so you cut up some strawberries, you cut up some banana, you put it in that blender, add a little bit of water, and blend it, and boom, you've got your juice. It's that simple. Okay, pour it over ice and enjoy. Okay, so there is no excuse. We are left without excuse. You know how God said that in the Bible? God said we are left without excuse. Okay, because he's revealing these things. He's teaching us. He says we're going to increase in nourishment with the increase of God, and this is how we do it. I mean, how else are we going to do it, right? How else are we going to increase in nutrition with the increase of God, right? Well, what we put in our body, that's what matters, right? What are we putting in our body? Okay, so we got to be more mindful of that for healthier living, because a healthier lifestyle becomes a habit, because the more you do it, and it's just so quick. When you see how easy it is to make this stuff and go ahead and get you that fresh sweet potato juice, boom. All natural, don't add nothing, don't add no salt, don't add no sugar, don't add nothing, just drink it straight up. And I'm telling you, okay, you do that for a solid week. This is going to be a challenge for some of y'all. You do that for a solid week, and you will feel a whole lot better. Okay, I guarantee it. Absolutely. And so you make your own, and and so you muscle food for before and after. Yes, that's the important part. If you are on the journey for muscle building and endurance training with us, we are going to want to eat before, and we'll definitely, when we're done with the workout, we're definitely going to want to eat after. Okay, a little something, definitely, because you're working the muscles, and so then you got to feed them. Okay, and Exactly. Feel more connected to God when you eat and exercise healthy. Exactly. That's a good point, Chris. Thank you. Because you don't realize that, well, God gave us all this stuff, you know, the herbs and the vegetables and the fruits and things. He gave us the nutrition. It's out here. It's right here. We're left without excuse. We just need to make sure we're making the right choices. And so, yeah. Now I haven't tried avocado juice yet, but I probably will, because avocado has vitamin A, C, and E, and it's also considered, well, you know what? It's considered a healthy fat. I don't know what that means. All I know is that it's good for you. And that, tomatoes. For those who are interested, if you want a really quick and easy way to make your own like V8 and not have a bunch of added stuff. Okay, if you find a can, I know we're not big on things in can, but this is the one exception to the rule. Okay, is I get the small, no salt added tomato sauce. Okay, no salt added tomato sauce. I put that in the mini blender, a small can. Okay, not the big one, but just about a half of one. Okay, that small can of no salt added tomato sauce. Because if you read the ingredients, the tomato sauce also has like I think it's got like cucumber or carrots or something like. It's got some things in there already, but I add just a pinch of cayenne pepper and a little bit of water, and I mix that, and I have my own my own tomato juice right there. No salt added. And I'm going to tell you, with a little cayenne, because cayenne's good for circulation. And so, yeah, all right, and there's that. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not complicated. It's really simple to do these things. And you can do them on the go. I mean, really, it does not take that long. And the most important thing is, though, for healthier living, you can't be lazy. That's the big thing right there, is you can't be lazy. And the canned chopped tomatoes. Well, you could probably get yourself a juice out of that, but the sauce, I think, works, in my opinion, if you will. I think it works best, the sauce, because it's already done. It's already pureed, really. I just have to add water and a little pinch of, and I'll put some fresh basil in there from time to time, too. Tomato basil juice. Ooh, yeah. And so we keep the negative thoughts and feelings at bay with a healthier lifestyle. Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out, too, because that's another thing, is that when you make healthier choices and you're eating healthier, you're feeling better. And when you feel better, you're going to have more positive thoughts. Yeah, because you're feeling better. So you definitely keep the negative thoughts and feelings at bay. Excellent, excellent point. Very true. And, yeah. And that's all part of being more connected to God, when we eat healthier, and our body thanks us for it, And so I just had to get on here, and I wanted to give that to y'all, because it's so simple. And okay, when I first started doing it, and the more I do it, I'm just in awe at how simple it really is. And all I got to do is go to the store, get a couple of sweet potatoes, and that gives me not only sweet potato fries with the air fryer. Yeah. Okay. And not only does it give me that, but it gives me sweet potatoes for juice. And I'm just like, wow. And then not canned, but bagged dry beans. I really recommend doing that. And you can soak them overnight, or you can follow the instructions on the bag of beans to do a quick soak. I mean, however you want to do it, but and I've got a little container, and I'll just soak them overnight, and then I'll put them on the pot, and I'll cook. The bean can take a little bit longer depending on the bean and how much you're cooking. But I like to put that bean in my little blender with some fresh basil, and then also, a vegetable like mushroom, the mushroom superfood. And I'm telling you, oh my gosh, you gotta cook the mushrooms too. But I'm just like, wow, how simple it is to put things like that together. Now, in the mushroom thing, I like fresh basil or cilantro, either or. But if I got fresh basil, and I'll put a dash of garlic powder, and maybe a little bit of onion powder, and a pinch of cayenne pepper, and add some fresh basil, portobello mushroom, and then great northern beans that I've soaked overnight, I'm there. I'll drink that. Oh yeah. And it's really good for you. It's loaded with potassium, and don't forget the protein that's in the mushroom and in the beans. So you're giving your muscles the protein as well, the potassium, and then other nutrients that are also in there. And it's not complicated. It really isn't. It's so simple. But you got to remember the game of narcissism out here doesn't like simplicity. Yeah, it doesn't like simplicity because it unconfuses people. When things are simple, God is a simple God. God is not the author of confusion, so he is a simple God. So when we do things like this, it's not confusing at all. And there's no reason for it to be. No. I mean, what? Yeah. No. And our whole goal is to keep canned goods that we consume to a minimum because of the aluminum and that. And combating radio frequency. Remember, y'all, radio frequency, RF, okay, sickness is also, the symptoms are the same as metal toxicity. Metal salts, okay? Metal salts serve as a magnet for frequencies, for heat. So you have to be mindful of that. And so I'm trying to reduce the amount of canned goods. There was a season where I was learning how to camp outside again, and I had to figure it out. So there was a season where I had quite a bit of stuff in cans, but since then we have been eliminated. I now have beans in the bag, dry beans, and including split peas. We're going to do some split pea soup at some point, and things like that. So I could even do split pea juice. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's really good for you. Yeah, the list is long, y'all. And again, you head on over to the Patreon shop and get your copy of the High Protein Low Carb Guide. Yes, man, I'm going to tell you, yeah, on the Patreon membership channel, that link is below. You don't have to be a member to purchase that High Protein Low Carb Guide. No, you just go over to the shop tab, and there it is. All right, and you can, yep, and put that on your thumb drive, external hard drive, to go back to anytime you need that. It's a guide. You can fine tune and tweak. You don't have to make the exact dishes that I've got listed in that guide, but it's there for you so you have an estimate and so you know about how much protein versus carbs and sodium and things like that you're getting. Okay, is my aluminum from the can into the food. Well, I have noticed there are some things, and I've noticed it before. I don't recall exactly what it was, but some food that's in the can have a metallic taste. So yeah, it's possible. It's possible. So is your store walkabout video still on the? Yes. Okay. I was trying to figure out what you're talking about. Yes, that is still on the card. Okay, I have not forgotten about that. It's just a matter of I wanted to get my body. Let's just say I wanted to get my body physically healed enough to where the frequencies in the environment is not going to have a negative effect on me anymore. Okay, because I can tell when I walk in someplace now, I can tell, oh, there's my belly warming up again. Okay, hold on a second. We still got a little bit of detoxing to do there. So, because I can tell, I can feel it. Because it's called air pockets. Air pockets have that salt inside, and so it's drawing the heat, and so that's what's getting heated up. And so I can feel different parts of my body. I can feel when they're getting heated up, and so that tells me, okay, we got some more air pockets that gotta leave there, and things like that. So I'm aware, okay, of how my body's responding, and in some other places how it's readapting and things like that. So we're doing fine. We're just very, very aware of when we go to Walmart, the bleep, 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 the LED lights and all of that, and then standing there, and then the air conditioner blasting, so all of that. And so recently I noticed, in my belly area, I felt the heat increasing in my belly area. I said, okay. I said, I feel that. I said, okay, we're good. We know now what to do. And so, just, self-care and do some more core exercises, get them air pockets loose and get them out of there so that don't happen again. But yes, okay, just for y'all, because I want to walk through the store. We want to do some label reading together. And that way you can also see how I function out and about inside the matrix, keeping my empathy off out in public, Okay, so that nobody can get an emotional read on me. I don't allow them to. And so we want to show you all how I do that. Okay, and we're going to. Because, and I do it really, now, it's just nonchalantly, it becomes so second nature because I've done it for a long time now that it's like instinctive. You know what I'm saying? And that's how easy it gets in the spiritual awakening. It's that you realize that all that out there is just nothing new under the sun, and they're just going to try to get an emotional read on you, and we don't let them. Yeah. So, are they still wearing the... Okay, there are some here and there. Yep, there are some here and there, that just tells me they're living in fear. So, yeah. And a lot of places leave it up to us now, whether we want to or not. And I'm not well, see, because that's part of a satanic ritual. Yes. All of that is part of the satanic ritual. And so, yeah, fear and ignorance. Yeah, unfortunately. And then I know that, because we live in a narcissistic matrix that wants to force you to participate in a satanic ritual. That's exactly what they're doing. And they use the fear mongering to trick a lot of people into doing it, and they don't realize that that's what they're doing. And so what they do is they pass that stuff off as a new fad. This is trending. This is popular. So people will jump on board. We don't do that here. Not in this ministry. No. Not in this ministry. We're not about that. We don't care about popularity. We don't care about what's trending. Nothing. We're staying on the narrow path, doing what God has called us to do. And that's why I wanted to get up here and talk to y'all and set the record straight, if you will, that healthier lifestyle, healthier living, it does not have to break the bank. And it's all about strategy. So for those who are tuning in a little bit later, you want to catch this on the replay, because I give some example on how to make your own vegetable juices and stuff, because it's real simple. It just blows my mind how simple it really is. And so we're going to keep doing that because it works. And it's how we're going to get our nutrients. Colossians 2 verse 19 is very clear about how we will increase with the increase of God. How are we going to do that? Yeah, what we put in our mouth, okay? We increase in nutrients and nutrition with the increase of God. And that means with his wisdom. And say the unhealthy lifestyle is a habit. Also, it's a bad habit. That's right. So turn around into a positive. Exactly. It's all about choices and resisting the devil's temptations. I know it can be challenging. Okay, it's very challenging. If your body, if your body has a lot of excess salt and water retention, holding all that salt in your body, that heat rises. And so when it rises, it could cause delirium. And so that delirium disconnects you from your own locus of control of your brain, your own thoughts, to be able to resist the temptation. And that's why many of us over the years ended up with stuff in our buggy that was not on the list. Because we didn't realize that the radio frequency and the excess salt inside our body was causing that heat to rise. And we were experiencing a little bit of that fever-induced state, kind of like almost like a euphoric high somewhat. And when you notice that, I said, oh, okay, I see. Because see, all the bruises that the Jezebel put around my neck, right, that was serving as a chokehold, if you will. And so I started to be able to feel when the oxygen wasn't getting to my brain. I said, hold on a second. Okay, or at least not enough. I could feel after about 15 minutes in the store, I could feel that euphoric high trying to creep up. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. I rebuke in the name of Jesus. And yeah, resist the devil and he shall flee. And I did not allow it to trick me into thinking I'm going to get that bag of Doritos. No. I said no, 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 and no. Yeah, we learned how to do that. We learned how to flip it. We learned how to pay attention to when that's happening during the detox, so that we did not fall off the wagon, so to speak. Exactly. I can tell. Listen, we become so aware of how our ANS is responding to things that, yeah, and that helps us resist the devil's temptation. And for those who are struggling with that, make a plan. Have a plan, okay? You're like, okay, I'm gonna make a tuna salad, but I gotta run to the store and get some celery. While I'm there, I may as well go ahead and get some stuff that I know I want to make this, let's say spaghetti or what have you. And so you're like, all right, you've got the plan, you've got the list. Get disciplined, okay? Get disciplined. Stick to the list. I got to do it too. I got to remind myself, stick to the list. Because it can be very easy. Now, sometimes God will say, wait a minute, I know you didn't put this on the list, but that's going to go with that for the spaghetti, okay? That happens. Sometimes we forget. But, well, exactly. And really try to break the habit of comfort food eating, y'all. Yeah, don't be eating for comfort. Break that habit. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that up. Yeah, trying to eat right. Yeah, and the sugars and chemicals are very addictive that they put in stuff out here, especially that corn syrup. So yeah, and if you've got a habit of comfort food eating, you gotta break that habit. For a healthier lifestyle, you got to break that habit, because comfort eating will lead to not only gluttony, but also excess salts and sugars that don't, yeah, and you don't want that. Okay, you don't want that in your body. So, yeah, you break that habit, okay? And it does get easier, but you got to have a plan, okay? When you're going to go to the store, resist the devil and he shall flee, right? James 4, verse 7. So you're going to have a plan, all right? So make sure you have a plan. You know you're going to make a couple of dishes. Okay, you're going to go to the store and get a few things that you need to make those dishes, and you stick to that, okay? And if you need to eat a little snack before you go, fine. It's always a good idea to not go grocery shopping on an empty stomach, right? Okay, well, that's true. Okay, you don't want to do that. And then and since you know you ate, because before I got to this point of being able to tell when well, it doesn't do it now. Yeah, there's no more chokehold. The bruises are healed. So there's no more chokehold when I go in places. But before the bruises healed, I started to feel, okay, when oxygen was slowing down, getting to the brain and starting to come on like that euphoric feeling kind of thing. And I was like, hold on a minute. Hold on. I'll stop and I'm like, take note of it. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. I feel that. And I said, okay. So there was that season where I just had to remind myself, stick to the list. And sometimes I still do. Not because of that though. Because there's no more chokehold. So there's no more euphoric high taking place while I'm in the store. No, because we have detoxed enough to where that's completely gone. And I keep my clear head now. But the other parts of my body that still have air pockets, like the belly, I can feel when the frequency is hitting it, and I'm like, okay, we're good. So that's what I do. I use the frequency out here for awareness, okay, to what parts of my body need more self-care. And that's it. And really, healthier eating is self-care. Yeah! Healthier eating is self-care. So, and then heard about how stores research smells they pump into the air to encourage certain behaviors. I'm sure they do. Because if you're in a euphoric high, right, your body's internal heat is high, and so you got this euphoric high going on. You're like, hey, oh man, and you get tricked into thinking you're hungry when you're not. You know you just ate before you went to the store, so how can you be hungry an hour later? You shouldn't be. I'm just saying. And so that wants to try and trick you, but I'm sure that they do pump certain smells into the air, of course, for certain behaviors, just like the frequency will cause a behavioral response. Absolutely, all that mind control and stuff. And so the psychology of how they place items around the store with the aromas pumped into the air. Yeah, they know what they're doing. Absolutely. Okay, it's all part of the temptation. Yeah, they want you to consume more salt and sugar and things like that. So we learn to cut all that excess out and don't add nothing. Don't add no salt. No, you get in just eating alone. Okay, you get plenty of sodium in the stuff anyway. I learned this a long time ago. Exactly. Okay, yeah, and then you start sneaking those little extras into your shopping basket. Yep, exactly. I don't know why they put that comment in hold, but okay. You good. start sneaking those little extras because of the aromas in the air. Yeah. But see, I'm going to tell you, the more we armor up and resist the devil and he shall flee, that stuff doesn't work on us anymore because we're changing that mindset for healthier living, a healthier lifestyle, because it's now become a habit, a good habit. So when I go to the store now, I have a whole different mindset. Muscle food. That's what I'm thinking. Muscle food. Okay? And right, if my ANS might have a little sweet tooth, okay, maybe a cinnamon bun, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? They don't sell just one. Okay, so I have to get the tub. But we don't eat on that all day long, okay? And we don't need it every single time we go to the store. So it's just my inner child wanted some. And cinnamon is anti-inflammatory, by the way. That's where that's coming from. I figured out why she was craving the cinnamon roll. Right, because the cinnamon has anti-inflammatory properties. For those who didn't know, now you do. Cinnamon. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's where that was coming from. Okay? And so with that, we don't make it a habit, if you will. But everything else that we do is muscle food. And even that's muscle food too. Anti-inflammatory properties, okay. But it goes great with the protein shake. I found that out. I got to eat something with the protein shake. Okay, when you're building muscle, that's how it works. And so vanilla extract, okay to add. Vanilla extract, yeah, you can add that to, I would say, well, I don't know. Depends on what your preference is. But I would say vanilla extract is used in a lot of baking for cakes and stuff. So, yeah, you can add it. Let's see. The first thing that comes to mind that might go well with vanilla flavor is, perhaps... oh gosh, some kind of, it's a fruit. Yeah, I would think maybe a grape juice and vanilla, maybe. I don't know. It's worth a try. But I don't know that I would put vanilla on sweet potatoes. I don't know. All about preference right there. I know we're not eating to feed the taste buds. No, but you definitely, your inner child will scream at you if it don't like it. All right. You got to think about your inner child too. Okay. Yeah. Your inner child walks by the flesh. We are walking after the spirit. Okay. So remember that, because your inner child, well, it's your autonomic nervous system, right? A part of your biological body, the physical. So, yeah, okay, pretty much all of your confectionaries would have some sort of vanilla extract. I say the majority of them, yeah. Bakery items, all that, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's all about preference, okay, you all? And I'm looking at the clock. Okay, it's 45 minutes. How about that? Been up here with y'all. This is so cool. And talking about this, and it's not trying to make anybody hungry or anything. It's just, yeah. It's just all about how simple it is to live healthier and the choices that you make. And so it's about your mindset though too. So your inner child wants chocolate chip cookies. Okay. You can make your own too. And that's not a bad idea. If you've got a stove and you've got the stuff, then you can make your own chocolate chip cookies, and you can control how much salt goes and sugar goes in there. And I'm big on using honey instead of sugar anyway. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm big on using honey in place of sugar anyhow. Because honey it's got I'm not sure what healing properties. It's very soothing, but your body will digest the honey a lot faster because it's more natural. Your body goes after things that are natural to start with. So that's why when you drink spinach juice or sweet potato juice that you make and put nothing in it except that vegetable and some water and pour it over ice, and you feel, if you want to drink it cold, you don't have to, okay? You can even thicken it. Okay, you could even go and make a soup with it. You make your own sweet potato soup. it depends on how much water you put in there. And blend it. And then, yeah, you can make your own soup. I mean, and you can put fresh basil in that as well. Absolutely. So, and butternut squash, right? There you go. I mean, there's just acorn squash, butternut squash, zucchini, yellow squash. All of that stuff is really, it's good for you. Loaded with potassium. Okay, so, and, well, there you go. There you go. Real honey and not the fake honey. I got you on that one. And then, okay, if you see the honey pattern, that means it's real honey. Thank you. I didn't know that. Oh, okay, so you can test if it's real. Okay, so you put, and see if you see the honeycomb pattern. Okay, so put a little bit of honey in the cup and put a little cold water over it. And if you can see the honeycomb pattern, then it means it's real honey. I got to try that. I'm going to have to try that. That is so cool. Thank you. I didn't know that. Okay. We're going to do the honey test. Because I'm not sure what I got. I got a little thing of honey back there, but I'm not sure what I got. The honeycomb imprint from the hive will show through. Wow. Okay, cool. Thank you. I like that. I got to do that. I got to do that. And, well, because, I mean, it can say, we know that they are very deceitful in the matrix, right? So it can tell you that it's raw, but it's not, right? Okay. Right, the hexagon pattern from the hive. Okay. Yeah. Like the honeycomb cereal. Yeah. I remember I used to eat that. Used to eat that when I was a kid. But, well, now, as far as eating cereal, my suggestion on that, y'all, I don't drink milk anymore. But we do still get some cream cheese and sour cream and stuff like that. But, I don't drink milk anymore. But if we're going to get cereal and make our snack mix, I want to make sure that the cereal itself has vitamin D in it, at least 10% or so. Just the cereal. It'll tell you on the box. I like to make sure it has vitamin D in the cereal without the milk. Because there's a lot of cereal out here that will not have vitamin D unless you add milk. Then you got your vitamin D. So be mindful of that. That's part of the label reading. Yes. So, like, well, if you want to make your own Chex Mix, and I would highly encourage you to do so, because the pre-made Chex Mix out here, that brand Chex Mix, read the label, corn syrup. Yes, they put corn syrup in that. I don't know about all of them, but I know the regular Chex Mix, I found that out. I had to quit buying it. I said, oh, I didn't read it close enough. And there's corn syrup solids, what have you. I'm like, I ain't buying that no more. Yeah. I'd rather get the stuff and make my own Chex Mix. Yes. Because we can do that. And the cereals also, exactly, they advertise it with having a lot of vitamins, which they can. Excuse me. Woo. All right, but cereal tend to have a lot of sugar as well. That's it right there. So you want to be mindful of that. So if you're going to make your own Chex Mix, they've got Chex cereal, right? There you go. And you can get your own pretzel. I have found that the goldfish pretzel tend to not be as salty as some other pretzels. So you be mindful of that if you want to put pretzels in your own mix. But it's all part of healthier living. You figure out how to do these things and make your own. And your body thanks you for it. Absolutely. So never forget that. And so I really appreciate the insight and a lot of stuff there. Okay, y'all? And so I know a lot of you are going to want to catch this on the replay, because we do give y'all some tips and things like that. And again, you know, the Patreon shop, okay? The Patreon membership channel link is in the video description below. When you go to that channel and you see the tab at the top that says shop, you do not have to be a member to shop in the shop. And you get your high protein, low carb guide, okay? It's a menu guide. That's a great starting point for healthier living with healthier eating. Absolutely. And then don't forget, we got to exercise and stuff too. So keep that in mind going forward. And that we've got to do that as well. All right, y'all. So this wraps up today's Truth Seeker podcast. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Truth Seeker podcast right here on the YouTube channel at Consulting, the number 4, Heightened Awareness. Okay, y'all. That wraps it up. Thank you again. I'm sure we're going to talk more about this going forward because it goes right in line with our movement. Okay? Combating RF radio frequency for healthier living. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father and you. Keep being you in Jesus' name. Amen.